Hello, and welcome to Stephoodle. I am, adventurously, Steph. In this collab, I teamed up with 5 other UK-based doll artists, and we created our own D&D adventuring party. But there was a twist. We were each assigned a different D&D class and tasked with curating a magic box full of fabric, trimmings, and other materials for that class, which we would then send on to the person who would actually create that character, like a themed mystery box. When you're done with this video, go check out the other videos in this collab from Splendidmiscellany, Stitchwick Creations, Cabinet of Creations, Diamondsacraft, and Dolleemixtures. Now let's see what mystery my magic box holds. I'm so excited. Here is my box. I've gone ahead and removed my address, but I haven't opened it yet. Ooh! Let's start with the note. This is so cute. Ah, a rogue! Yay! Pleasure to work with you once more. At the time of opening, I did not know who I'd gotten my box from, but I now know it was the lovely Lauren, aka Splendidmiscellany. There's a nice stash of treats here, most of which I passed on to my partner as it's stuff he loves, but I kept the Freddo for me. Then there are these beautiful stickers. And there's this little packet of fabric and trims and a sticker. And you may recognize the fabric I used for Cassie's coat in here. Lauren actually sells these craft packs as well as the stickers in her Etsy shop. I'll leave a link in the description below. But those were just the extras. The main event is underneath this bit of cardboard. And wow, that's a lot of stuff. 3 kinds of faux leather. I'm really drawn to the quilted one. For hair, we've got viscose fiber, which I have been wanting to try for a while now. Here are some miniature buckles and 2 types of buttons. So small. Some black lace, black cotton, and some sheer fabric, waxed cord, some faux suede that I didn't realize was green until I worked with it later on, some faux fur yarn, and warbler. Oh my god, I am so excited about this. I've been wanting to try out warbler for ages, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Crushed taffeta in a peacock green and black. Green double gauze, and finally some popsicle sticks. And here it all is. I feel like absolutely spoiled for choice. I think I'm most looking forward to the viscose and the warbler. Now let's get started, shall we? It took me far too long to decide on a base for this doll, but I ended up going with a Cave Club Emberly, who should make a perfect halfling rogue. As per usual, I use my hairdryer to heat up her head to make it easier to remove. I remove her plastic hair accessory and cut her hair off close to the scalp. Since her neck opening is teeny tiny, I cut a slit in the back of her head so I can remove the remaining hair with tweezers. Then I wipe her factory paint using pure acetone. I remove any acetone residue with an alcohol wipe afterwards. I paint her scalp brown and seal it with a layer of Mod Podge. Time to tackle the viscose. I decided to try rerouting with it this time. I peeled off a section from the hank and then began pulling the fibers from the ends. Shorter fibers come out before the longer ones do. At first I thought I was going to make a pile of fiber, but it turned out to be a lot easier just to pull one plug's worth at a time. So that's what I did for the majority of the job. And it's the same as normal rerouting. I wrap a bit of the fiber around my finger, scoop it up with my rerouting tool, and plunge it into the head. I do this over and over again until I have a full head of hair. I fill the head with tacky glue through the slit in the head and use a cotton bud to work it into all the fibers on the inside. Once dry, I can close up the back of her head with super glue. And once that was dry, I wrapped up her hair and gave her a couple of coats of Mr. Super Clear UV Cut Flat, and that means it's face-up time. I had this vision of her having dark makeup across her eyes like a mask made of feathers, so that's what I'm going for here. I start by laying down a base with my black pan pastel. I really want to get more of these someday, but they are expensive. I use a kneaded eraser to clean up the shape a bit. After some blushing and another spray of MSC, I start sketching in her eyes with a white watercolor pencil. I keep working layer by layer, spraying on a fresh coat of MSC when I can't build any more color or I want to save my progress. While I'm working away at the face-up, I'll tell you about one of my first D&D characters. She was, coincidentally, a halfling rogue, but she had bright red hair instead of brown and was named Carmine. She was more of a trickster than a thief, which caused at least one person to say I wasn't playing a rogue correctly because I wasn't stealing everything not nailed down. Oh well. One of the moments from that game that really stuck with me was when our party came across like a ghost town, this empty village. And the only person there was a very cryptic jester. Until a wild hunt, which is a group of fae folk that stalk prey across worlds, passed through. We all hid, but like at least one of our rolls was not good because we were discovered. And we were given an ultimatum. Sacrifice one so that the rest may escape. Our group was wondering what to do, when without thinking, and without hesitation, I said that Carmine pointed to where the jester was hiding, and said, "Take him, he's of no use to us." Much to the shock of everyone, including our DM. But I stated my case that to Carmine, who was chaotic neutral, it was the most simple solution to be able to escape with our entire party unscathed. Brutal, for sure, but I still think it was a very funny encounter. And it stuck with me all these years later. I wonder if I ruined some sort of side quest we were meant to have. Our poor DM. With some catch lights, rose gold Perlex powder, and a little metallic highlight in her eyes, the face-up is done. Spoiler alert, I sewed her clothes off camera. I hacked a few patterns from the lovely Pulponciel. Gosh, I hope I said that right, aka Julie. I modified her Game Club Tang shirt pattern to make both the shirt and the vest, and combined her bike shorts and tights pattern to make these leggings. Julie has a veritable treasure trove of patterns available for various doll lines for free, and she makes beautiful dolls as well. I'll leave a link to her Instagram in the description down below. Please go give her a follow. I heat up the head once more and reattach it to the body. And after a trip to ye old doll hair salon, she looks like this. You know, I found the viscose a bit fiddly to work with, however, it styles like a dream. She still needs some shoes. I made these boots using the same tights pattern, but with a generous seam allowance. Once on, I can sew up the backs with a simple baseball stitch. These boots seem like the perfect soft-soled choice for doing some quality sneaking. Time for stabby things! I made this template for her daggers. I traced it out on Worbla twice. Worbla is thermoplastic. When you heat it, it becomes malleable and it will stick to itself. I layer 2 pieces of Worbla together and then cut out the dagger shapes. I heat them up again and use a popsicle stick to flatten out the blades and give them some dimension. I trim them down using the template as a guide. I continue heating and forming the daggers, adding pieces to create the grips, cross guards, and other accents. They were starting to look less alike, so I opted to make them different models, one having a more curved blade and fancy pommel, and the other just being a bit more simple and chunky. When I'm done sculpting and they've cooled, I can get to painting. I start with a black base coat. Then I paint the blades silver and the cross guards and the pommel gold. I finally got my hands on some dragonfly glaze, so I use it to make the grips look extra fancy. I use watered down black paint to age the blades. And I gave them both a coat of gloss varnish. Daggers need scabbards, right? I'll be using these strips of faux leather for the belts that will hold them, but they're the wrong color, so I paint them black and seal that in with Mad Mod Podge. I make a template for the scabbards, keeping a seam allowance in mind. I'll be making them out of the quilted faux leather, and I'll add straps with this plain faux leather and a couple of tiny buckles. And here they are all done. It took a bit of trial and error and making things up as I went along, but I got there. They fasten with snaps and crisscross each other when worn. And the daggers fit. It's a little loose actually, but let's ignore that. But there's one last key piece to our rogues ensemble. A cloak. I made this by hacking together 2 patterns. The hood from Delightful's hooded cape pattern and the cape from DG Requiem's hooded cloak pattern, which I shortened in length, of course. I added 2 little elastic loops that attach to the topmost buttons of her vest. And with that, my fellow adventurers, she is complete. Her name is Grim Duskraven. Her full name is Grimelda, but don't call her that unless you want a knife through your boot. She used to be an assassin, but only because she was very good at it, and it paid very, very well. But truth be told, Grim hated it, and she felt lost. So she gave up her lucrative contracts and joined up with a motley band of adventurers, wreaking havoc, pulling pranks, and feeling truly alive for the first time in her life. And she's never looked back. What do you think of Grim? Have you ever played any tabletop RPGs? Do you have a fun memory from your time playing? I would genuinely love to read them, so please leave a comment and tell me about how you derailed your entire campaign because of a chicken or something. I want to know. And don't forget to go watch all of the other videos in this collab from Splendidmiscellany, Stitchwit Creations, Cabinet of Creations, who got my box, Craft, and Dolleemixtures. Everyone did an outstanding job, and I love our little adventuring crew. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and click the bell icon to get notified every time I post a new video. Links to all my socials, including Instagram, where I'm most active, will be listed down in the description box below. And if you enjoy my videos and feel like buying me a coffee, my Ko-fi link is down there too. And until next time, bye!